day long. You at home screaming their name as well. Fnatic are looking to make it 4. Unicorns looking to prevent that.
Look at the start here from Huni. 12 armor and 5 potions. That's very standard if you want a lane swap on it. So Fnatic potentially setting up for that. And then I would assume they're going for a fast push to try and end the laning phase as early as possible and not allow Unicorns to sit back with some defensive wards and just farm it for 15-20 minutes. We're gonna have to see what they do. Otherwise the cloth armor is not gonna do a whole lot against the Maokai. That would have been a Ruby Crystal if you were aiming for the one-on-one setup for Huni. Placing that deep ward here to see, no, just placing Yellow Star. He has no ward. So
well, we did say there's nothing he can't do. He wants to be a ward. Hell, he can be a ward. We do see that Huni continues to sit up in that top lane, and Vardags and Hylissang are in fact the dual lane that's swapping away. So Fnatic reading the situation well.
Yeah, exactly. This Fnatic just expecting or predicting this swap from Unicorns of Love, and will have that cloth armor 5 potion rumble to sit and be a whole lot beefier. And also what you can do now, because you got so much sustain with the potions, you can be pretty greedy walking in trying to get a last hit, make sure you're always in XP range, and then you got the 5 potions and a teleport to keep yourself healthy. Maokai won't have the same luxury in the bottom lane. He's obviously gonna do the camp and get the level 2. Huni is just gonna help Rain over.
I sincerely hope you guys at home can hear that. It's 5,000 people chanting Huni's name. I'm fortunate enough to be able to see his face from where I'm standing, and it is as cold as ice. You can see it on the player cam, bottom left. The only focus is on the prize, is on the title. And we'll see who comes out ahead in this lane swap. Early ward here from Hylissang. We'll move into the jungle. Blue buff was secured by Rainover already. And we do see Hylissang is gonna
might be caught out.
Stun up Huni in a second.
Here's
this
Chachi.
Is a teleport from Vizachachi. He's gonna go very aggressive at level 2. That's a flash away from Huni. Sapling goes out. He's not gonna be able to get the stun again. Ignite is ticking. 100 hit points. That's a and Hylissang's gonna tank it up. Unicorns of Love with a massive play to secure first blood. But keep in mind, Chachi did not get an assist.
No, and he's not gonna get any farm or anything on the bottom lane. Yellow Star and Steelbike can now push it in. You see them already grouping up the minions, just making sure they can deny everything from Chachi. Not sure how Huni was caught out in the river instead of just walking through the lane to his own tower after spotting the 2 guys on top. But all these minions are gonna die. And there's nothing Chachi can do about it. He's gonna try and see if he can go for another kill on Huni and simply say, if I'm not getting farm, you're not getting farm either.
Wow, there's no flash available for Huni, so if he puts himself in a dangerous position, possibility is there. The duo of Lucian and Braum almost guaranteed to get those stuns. Thanks to Hylissang's passive, those concussive blows, but Huni is not gonna get close enough to get caught out, I believe. You can see Yellow Star's coming up to respond. Will they get the tower? Let's keep an eye on that HP. Down to about a third. The minions are slowly being killed away. I think Huni should be able to get some flame spitter damage and clear them out before the tower's secured.
Super good response from Fnatic. Defending the tower, and Chachi still sitting there, gaining absolutely nothing. He has to recall and walk all the way back to the bottom lane if he wants any farm. And really, even if the lane swap ends early, I think that's what Fnatic wants anyway. So by them fast pushing the bottom lane and Unicorns fast pushing top, it's okay for Fnatic, because they don't want Unicorns to sit back and farm for 15 minutes. They want to force fights. You have an RF, you have the pick potential, you got the Rumble, you got the Sivir. I mean, you got so many ways of starting fights, and you have so many strong early to mid-game champions. Sejuani, the only one getting farm on the bottom side, forcing a flash as well.
Jungler's
Power of Evil.
Very impactful thus far.
And you saw how safe that gank was, because they knew Kikis was sitting bot lane to take the wave. So they could go for that gank in mid lane and not have to fear for anything. And they can even take a second one. Kikis gonna try his luck on the bottom side though. Will be spotted.
Wow, that flash body slam wasn't able to connect with Power of Evil.
That was a little bit. He didn't time the minion waves either from Rainover. There's no way for Fitman to charm him because the minions were walking in front of Power of Evil as well. So just a wasted flash from Rainover. The only downside for Fnatic now is the fact that Huni died, gave over first blood, and the lead to Unicorns of Love. And also, one more thing's happening. Chachi has been able to get down and get his one-on-one lane. Sivir is only one level ahead of him, so he can't really zone him too much. The Unicorns responding as well, and now finally getting farm on the top laner.
Unicorn's going to clear out that ward. Vizichachi with flash available. Febiven not yet level 6. Getting close, and he will get spotted out. So that roam from the Unicorns of Love does not pay off. We're 6 minutes on the clock with steal back in the bottom lane and the fact that Fnatic, once they get access to the ultimates, should be a very scary early to mid-game team fight. You have to feel they're going to set their sights on Dragon.
Yeah, look what Unicorns are doing, though, to try and stop that from happening. First Blood went over to Vardax, so he recalls very early on because he has enough for the BF sword. By him recalling, you force Steelback to do the same. If Steelback stays in the lane and try and push it into the tower over and over, he comes back, or well, he meets Vardax in the lane with a Doran's Blade against the BF sword. That's not a fair trade. So by him recalling and going bottom lane, Steelback had to do the same, can only pick up a pickaxe because he didn't get the first block gold. So that's a very, very smart move from Unicorns to now get the 2v2 control exactly like they did in the last game. And this should also make it harder for Fnatic to set up that Dragon, at least just uncontested, because the Lucian will be able to trade so effectively with a Sivir.
Well, we'll find out if Unicorns can set it up. Before that can happen, though, Kikis is going to move his way to Huni. Remember, Huni's got no flash. Vizichachi does. Is he going to root him? He flashes into place. The flash comes forward from Kikis in reply. Huni's in trouble. The sapling's going to slow him. Huni's got 300 hit points, 100 hit points. He should be going down. He does start to overheat. His Kikis is going to be getting the kill. Flail of the Northern Wind spinning. 0-2-0. And it was Vizichachi that was camped earlier that allowed Fnatic to win. Now Unicorns are getting revenge by camping Huni.
Yeah, and you can do this when you know your other lanes are doing just fine. Farmfest in the mid lane, an advantage for you on the bottom side, so you can go for these ganks against the Rumble with no flash, no wards either from Huni being placed. Very, very good start for Unicorns of Love. Chachi, the man who was denied at first, turned it around, decided, you know what? Huni's not going to get any farm either. And by them just almost trading even by not getting anything, Unicorns have managed to turn it into their favor with this AD carry back in the first spot. So smart of them to swap the lanes around now.
I'm still waiting to see how this Dragon battle turns out, Deficio. It is the deciding game, and Fnatic do have the slight edge. They've secured 9 Dragons this series, whereas Unicorns of Love have secured 7. The thing is, it's always been the team that's in control that has dictated who's getting those Dragons, and we'll see whether or not that early BF sword on Vardax will be enough to overcome what will eventually be on the hunt equalizer empowered team fights from Fnatic. Like clockwork, they're setting it up.
Talked about the Dragon. What Unicorns of Love is doing is just pushing one lane, the bottom lane here, try and keep them on the tower, and then they started. Fnatic can react to this one. Problem is, Reignover is out of mana and on the red buff. Had he been ready for it, at least, they could have collapsed 4 members and taken the fight. This does mean Unicorn secured him. I'm even lying to you because I didn't see the TP disadvantage for Huni.
Just TP
so no matter what, Unicorns would secure that Dragon, and just really, really smart play. Good setup early on.
That all came from that early back from Vardax and Hylissang.
It did indeed, Trevor. We have to see with the Rumble.
Febiven wants blood.
He wants the Raptor.
He just wants the Raptor. He wants Raptor blood. There we go.
Yeah.
Rumble is the middle ground.
Rumble is one of those champions, though. Even if you do shut him down, he needs so little gold to be efficient or effective with the Horning guys, and basically just upgrade your boots and you're good to go in a fight. So it's not like Huni's out of the game. It's just been a good way of creating a lead for Unicorns and try and dodge around these mid-game Dragons, because what could have happened was Fnatic would just play standard, get that Dragon because they were so much stronger early on, and then go towards the 5 before Unicorns could react in time and force them into these bad trades. Getting that first one stops that, or at least delays it for a long, long time.
Well, take a look at the items, Deficio. We're approaching 10 minutes, and Steelback, after swapping to that bottom lane, he's picked up 2 long swords very early on. We do see a needlessly large rod for Febiven in that middle lane as he eats a shockwave but lands a charm. They're trading ignites. Actually, no, it is just Febiven that eats an ignite. Now Kikis, Glacial Prison is available. He throws it down. Reignover is in range. There goes the equalizer. That's a good one. Kikis is in trouble. Challenging Spite. The barrel's going to knock him against the wall, and Fnatic will get their first kill of the fight. It is Reignover that secures a kill credit. Kikis and Chachi, they don't have the most damage. I think we're hoping to find a lone Huni.
We did see the power, at least, of the Rumble and some of the early damage that Gragas can provide despite being a center hold tank. Early game is not terrible for him. Nice setup and nice counter game. Meanwhile, that bot tower as well, because Vilex went for Dragon and then back to base. It was open. It was obviously very low from before in the 2v1 lane swap. But man, Steelback is going to be delayed in terms of his builds. That Infinity Edge is so delayed. He might just try and go for Brutalizer, farm up for BF Sword then, and aim for Ghostblade as the second item, which definitely is not what he prefers to do. He's one of those AD carries who always aim to get Phantom Dancer over Static Shift as well, and just have as much single target damage as possible in these team fights. That is going to be very, very delayed.
We also see Febiven opting to go for that Luden's Echo first item. He really wants to put Fnatic on his back and find those solo kills. Febiven has just been such a breakout player for Fnatic all year long. He's had a brilliant impact regardless of the champion he's playing, whether it's Assassin or Mage, and he just seems to have such a good impact on the game. You could argue probably more consistent than Power of Evil, but equally as important for his team.
I agree in that one, but if you do look at playoffs, I will have to give credit to Power of Evil as well for being on his game. Honestly, there's been very, very few games in the playoffs where we said, oh, Power of Evil, he's underperforming here. I definitely do agree in the regular split, however. He had his bad games, and that was where Unicorns Love seemed to always rely on him doing well. It's been different in the playoffs. There's been more players stepping up as carries than just Power of Evil, even though he's been the shining star on the team. Like Hylissang, just to name one of them. His plays.
Glacial Prison. Will it connect? The answer will be Xmithy. Sorry, no. Febiven able to Spirit Rush away. He actually goes aggressive. Hylissang jumps in, unable to get that Winter's Bite down. Febiven still got that charge of Spirit Rush. Let's be honest, Febiven dodged it.
Yeah.
Not Kikis missed it.
Good reaction time on the ulti. I'm not sure if he spotted Kikis coming out from it, but at least he saw the ulti fly in the air. Jumps away, didn't want to take any chances. No Dragon is alive, so they're just trying to contest some of the early vision here. With no bot lane tower for Unicorns of Love, you always have to expect that the enemy AD carry want to go to your mid lane and start pushing it in. Orianna is one of those champions who can hold it for a long, long time though. So Unicorns does have some freedom in that regard compared to, let's say, Kassadin from the last game of Fnatic where you just left completely useless defending.
So even on gold, Dragon spawning in a minute and a half. Take a look at the itemization for Steelback. He actually went for that BF sword. Deficio did not complete the Brutalizer. Was able to farm up enough.
Yeah. So this, like when it comes to AD carry builds, it's so much about how much gold do you have when you back. Like how do you time your backs? With him at least getting enough for BF sword, he obviously says, okay, I don't need a Brutalizer now. I'll get the item I was aiming for in the first place. So good save for Steelback. Important that they've gotten a tower for him and quite some farm.
Chachi's in trouble. Chachi's been bullied around by Huni this entire time they've been top. It hasn't affected his CS yet, but every time we look top, Chachi is just trying to farm up from underneath his own tower. Huni is relentless at pushing those minions in.
Looking for the dive. Ulti is ready for Huni. They see the Unicorns of Love guys on the bottom side. Might just say, let's save the ulti and everything for the Dragon and take that fight, which should be in our favor if we look at the comms. And that seems to be the strategy. No reason to take the chance, go for that dive, invest everything. Instead, roam down, be ready to contest the vision, because Unicorns have gotten here first, set up a few good wards. They don't really have a whole lot of pick potential on their side. Kikis, though, he's just charging in.
He has found Steelback in Yellow Star. Kikis has got Glacial Prison available. He's going to lock them both up. Look at the backline. Febiven's creating a ruckus. Teleport from Vizichachi comes down. Yellow Star does get dropped by Vizichachi's Vengeful Maelstrom. Now Fardax and Power of Evil on the right side of an equalizer. Shockwave gets the carries, and Fardax secures his first kill. Now we see Hylissang trying to get away. Fardax in full retreat. He throws out the Light Slinger. Auto attacks going out. Fardax is dropped. It's Steelback that gets the kill. He was shut down earlier, and Hylissang throws up that unbreakable shield. Febiven's looking for more. He's going to get the speed boost from that Orb of Deception. Lands the charm, and Fnatic gets 4 kills on the board. for what I believe was the cost of 2.
Yeah, Unicorns here, they were trying to create a pick before Fnatic would set up a team fight. They went into the jungle at first and it looked okay with Kikis, but notice behind here, Power Beaver gets jumped by Febiven, so he's not there with the rest of his team. Vardax joins him, and now it's just a Fnatic show. It's a good shockwave from Power Beaver, but he goes down, and Unicorns Aloft are not able to escape. Fnatic gets a lot of kills for this one, and that was exactly why they didn't dive to top lane, because they wanted that team fight.
Well played by Fnatic. Dragon
get another
still
one.
not secured. They do get the hook onto Vizicachi. He throws down the Maelstrom. Rainover throws his body slam in. There's no Glacial Prism from Kikis, so he's unable to do anything more. What other ultimates are available? The Fisher not there either. It's all going to be on the Shockwave, and Unicorns of Love. They got the first Dragon. They're going to give this one up after they lost the primary tank. Fnatic arrest control in the deciding battle, securing their first Dragon of Game 5.
That last little fight here, Unicorns of Love should have accepted that Dragon was gone and just take the top tower instead. The tower is very low, they had minions already pushing in. What you need to do when you have the scaling comp and you're not in a good position to fight is you just give up those dragons, because you got the first one. You know there's a high chance of Fnatic killing you if you go in there, and you just take a tower on the other side of the map, because you benefit so much from the gold. That's why they're called late game carries, because they need the gold to be very effective. So for Unicorns here, by going down and taking another one, they didn't really gain any advantage, and also lost the dragon. So that was a misplay from them. And Fnatic using it to get the goal lead. Kikis will find Yellow Star again. And obviously this top tower is still very low if Unicorns does decide to group on it.
I think a little bit of praise to Kikis for that one. His counter ganks in game 3 of the series were not actually he was counter ganked excessively, and he's not necessarily been in place to respond to as many ganks. I think this has been a story of junglers finding weaknesses in their opponent's map play. Unicorns, they find themselves a small amount of gold down as we approach 20 minutes. For Fnatic, you have to wonder, is it enough of a lead considering how good Orianna, Maokai, and Sejuani will continue to grow? Something you always talk about, Fisher. If you fall a little bit behind in that Maokai, you sit on the catalyst and just go tanky items.
Yeah, it's not your job to start fights. You are more reacting to whatever the other team is doing, and you're mainly focusing on kiting back anyway. So just skipping the Righteous Glory for a moment and get some tanky stats can be very, very good for you to at least tank something for your team. Huni has gone straight Hourglass. He must have had the goal for it when he went back. No magic penetration yet, despite being against the Maokai in lane, and also the 2 tanks, or 3 tanks even with the Braum from the Unicorns of Love. It's obviously going to come in next. Does make him a bit safer, but the penetration is so important for Rumble in the early game. And while Fnatic, 2k gold ahead, you can say Unicorns, it's not looking terrible in that sense. They can still sit back and farm up, and that's what they want to do. We have to remember the mid game is far from over. There's still a long time where Fnatic, composition-wise, will be stronger.
Fnatic are going to be able to defend this mid tower. Still 2 towers to 0 as Unicorns unable to push any of their respective lanes in. Get any sort of presence in that area. Steelback and Bardax both sitting with their Infinity Edges, and with 3 kills and 2 assists as well as tower gold. Steelback is in fact ahead. However, it does look like he's going to be going towards that Ghost Blade. So that mid-game power of Sivir is going to get exemplified even more with the Ghost Blade.
Will be a lot weaker late though. So once again, it's about the mid-game for Fnatic. It's super annoying as an AD carry to pop your Ghost Blade and then see a Sejuani and a Maokai just fly in your face and be like, yeah, that's not going to do a whole lot.
Kikis will be looking to do that over and over. His ultimates in the previous game were absolutely fantastic. We do see that Haunting Guys completed now for Huni. 122 CS, is up at opposite number 128. And the respective teams just settling into slightly extended laning phase. We did see Febiven pushing up the top lane, and Unicorns have been able to defend their middle outer turrets. Yeah. But there's not really been like pressure or focus from Fnatic on that lane yet. Oh.
Over.
Almost.
Well, what Fnatic is doing is just splitting out and making sure all the carries can get farmed. Rumble gets farmed bottom lane, Sivir gets farmed mid lane, and Ahri gets farmed top lane. There's no real reason for them to group just yet. What they're waiting for is the dragon to spawn. Once it comes alive, expect Febiven to move down from the top lane, sit with his team to create a pick before dragon even spawns. With the early vision, they're most likely going to set up from Fnatic, because that's where you want Ahri with your team. She's so good at catching out targets who has to basically face check you, because they won't have the ward down. You're sitting on a ping, you charm, you just one-shot that one target with the rest of your team, and dragon is yours. So you can push out the top lane once more and then start roaming down. He's gotten the farm he needs. He's already gone back to his... I mean, look at his items. Large rods. Second one for him with the Luden's Echo already completed. His damage is absolutely insane. So look at him here on the minimap. Gonna move all the way down. And then Fnatic can start creating some picks. Unicorns of Love have no business to do around that dragon. They should just step away, be happy with the farm they're gonna get in these side lanes. Meanwhile, Febiven might even wait a little bit. But if there's any chance of Unicorns fighting, he's gonna be there with his team.
We'll have to keep our eyes on that one. Vardex just shoves the wave into Huni's waiting hands. He's deciding to back and spend a little bit of gold. Got himself around 400, should pick up a pair of boots. Some mobility in place if a fight were to break out. Does have teleport available, and for Unicorns, to get the Scuttle Crab is going to help them out. But look at Febiven's positioning. Fnatic know the timer is almost there, and Unicorns investing so much into vision.
Yeah.
To try to avoid that blind pick face check scenario.
I would really have preferred from Fnatic to go into that dragon a minute earlier. Timed your backs correctly so you didn't have to recall 30 seconds before it even spawns, and you would be the one sitting with these wards here and the pick potential of the Ahri. Now you might have to take a straight on 5-on-5 team fight. You are still very, very strong, but it makes it a little bit harder for you at least, instead of just creating that one easy pick, or even just force Unicorns completely away from the dragon in the first place, and you secure it. Febiven, we'll see that Unicorns are here, and now they're trying to contest for the wards.
Huni's pushing top lane. Teleport is available. Vizicachi plus Vardex have rejoined the rest of their team. Power of Evil using that dissonance to get movement speed and try threaten Yellowstar's positioning. They've actually started the dragon.
So risky for Unicorns.
Let's look for the teleport. Where is it coming? Unicorns have decided to bail away. Teleport comes onto the middle lane for Huni, and Febiven continues to play the flank. Look for the ultimates.
Unicorns have to fight as a unit together, so if they get flanked, it's very easy for Fnatic to split them up and just single them out with the Ahri here. You gotta stay with your big tanks if you're the carries for Unicorns, and you cannot do that if you cannot protect your sides.
While Unicorns are investing into the dragon, Depth Charge catches 3! The Equalizer melts Unicorns of Love! The Flame Spit is destroying. Vardex is in full retreat, but the Orbit Deception gets one. Shockwave only connects to Rainover, and Power of Evil is down. Fnatic convincingly win the team fight. 4 kills, the mid turret, and they're gonna get the bottom inner turret as well.
A wise man once said, don't fight dragons against a rumble. We just saw why. That ulti from Huni started the whole thing, and then just a collapse from 2 different sides. There was nothing Unicorns could do. And the worst thing is, they don't have to fight those dragons. They don't have to start them. They want to wait, trade. That top tower is still standing up there on 10% HP. That should have been your focus. Go, not dragons. Just look at it again. I mean, what do you expect him to do? Orianna has an Athene's Animal Blasting one here, so she gets knocked up at first. And look at the damage from Fnatic. Everything just piled onto Unicorns, and they have to run instantly. Nothing they could do in return.
Fnatic deconstruct everything about the Unicorns of Love. Unicorns still yet to get a tower on the board, and they are now 5,000 gold down. They now need to do to Fnatic what Unicorns did to SK. And that is pull off a miracle.
Shockwave the Baron. It will happen. Fnatic always goes for these early Barons here. If they think you're out of position, they place a ping on it, they start it. And then it's up to the Unicorns to react in time and not be caught in the engage of Fnatic.
Unicorns did set their sights on that top tower. A little too late, maybe. And defensive play from Fnatic means Unicorns unable to secure that objective. Instead, they peel back to the middle lane, continue trying to farm their way up. 4-0-5 on Steelback Sivir. Ghostblade, Eye-Edge, Pickaxe, and about 1,000 gold to spend still.
It's fun to see how important Sivir has been in this final here, because the team who had it were always able to pick a more mid-game focus comp and then just force team fights whenever someone were too slow at scaling, and you never got to the point where you could really fight back. Both teams have been very good at closing out the games, except for maybe the game of 3 of Fnatic where they were taking a little bit easy. Apart from that, they have kept it very safe but secure.
I also think it's just a lot of props to Fnatic.
It is.
Bouncing back from a honestly heartbreaking loss to Unicorns in Game 4. Picking a team composition with maybe a soft cap on its scaling and the time limit of effectiveness, but just playing around their strengths so well and punishing Unicorns of Love.
Yeah.
When Unicorns have presented a target, Fnatic have hit a bullseye and destroyed the Unicorns.
And that's exactly why a comp like this never really stops being effective. Because the carries will never be tanky enough to sit in a Rumble ulti when there's a Nautilus ulti coming in as well. Like that engage potential from Fnatic will always be there, no matter how far into the game we get. The way Unicorns can win the late game one is instead if they teamfight as a unit together with the 2 tanks in front, and then when engage happens, they back away, they kite back, they get out of the Rumble ulti, and then they can start turning around because they have so much consistent damage from Orianna, from Lucian late game, with 2 Cinderhulk, or sorry, with 1 Cinderhulk and 1 Maokai, to just prolong the fights. But Fnatic will never hit a point where they can't win. If they manage to land their ultis correctly, they will melt someone from Unicorns of Love.
We did see some blue pings onto Baron Deficio. Fnatic maybe setting their sights on it. Unicorns have got decent wards around, but for Fnatic and their strong lead, where will they want to force a team fight? They've got more engage power from Reignover with Righteous Glory. They've got Yellow Star. He's picked himself up that locket, so any of the burst that's going to come out from Power of Evil is going to be significantly affected thanks to that locket. Fnatic, as you said, have got all the tools to play with.
Top side of the map is the focus for Fnatic. It's where the 2 tier 2 towers are still alive. They've already started a push in the bottom lane. And as always, when you control that jungle, you get to time the minion waves when you want to rotate through the jungle very quickly, force the other team to go back to base and all the way around their inhibitors if they want to move between the tier 2 towers. So you can move faster through the jungle. That gives you some damage on towers. You can even catch them out if they try and face check you in that jungle, and you have that Baron threat, which is what Fnatic want at this point. Unicorns needs to send down the Maokai to clear this wave out before it becomes a problem, unless they want to sacrifice the whole thing to the tower.
Kikis is in trouble. Yellowstone Reignover gone in, but it's Unicorns that have turned it around. Look at the backline. Vardax almost gets soloed out by Featherfin. We do see that it is eventually going to be some kills onto Unicorns of Love. They've lost Vardax. They've lost Helisang. They've lost Kikis. And Featherfin is the only reply so far. Fnatic find Unicorns in their jungle. And Yellowstar can taste his 4th LCS split title. Fnatic on the inner top lane turret, and there's nothing the Unicorns can do.
And I really like the fact he swapped away from Leona to the Nautilus, because when you're against the Lucian, he wants to jump around. You can dodge that Leona ulti. You cannot dodge the ulti from a Nautilus. It's gonna follow you, it's gonna knock you up. And Fnatic just has so many ways of getting to that backline of Unicorns of Love, the 2 damage dealers. Look at also at the vision here. 10 green wards in the jungle, 4 pink wards around the Baron. They're gonna go straight back to it unless they want to go and take a dragon first and just keep setting up around that Baron, keep forcing Unicorns to either sit back in the base, give it up for free, or get into bad team fights. How do you fight a fed Rumble in the jungle when there's also the AoE of a Sivir, of an Ahri? I mean, you can't. There's nothing for Unicorns around that Baron they can do.
Kikis is now being teleported on from Huni. There's no equalizer available. A little bit preemptive maybe, but he's very, very far ahead. 30 minutes. Fnatic are just going to play the baiting game.
You already have the vision, so yeah, why even go Dragon in the first place? Smart move from Fnatic here. If Unicorns try to trade it, well, that was fine as well. It's a second Dragon, I mean, who cares? So Fnatic just controlling it completely. Once again, bottom lane is pushing for them up. Top lane is pushing. Mid lane, tier 2 is open. And Fnatic says now, okay, let's just secure that easy objective at least. But they don't want to give up all these pings here. It's very important they defend the ping wards in the river, because that's what creates the whole pressure. So just send down a few guys to do Dragon. Rest can defend the river.
Deficio, it is hunting season, and Fnatic are hunting mythical beasts. They have got every single advantage needed to shut this game out. But they need to be decisive. They cannot afford to play like they did in Game 2 and give the Unicorns time to scale. Fnatic, as you said, as long as they combo their ultimates, they can win, but you need to play.
It gets harder and harder for sure.
Exactly, and that's the risk. That's the risk you play if you play passive. But let's be honest, they're not. This is not the same Game 2 Fnatic. There's proof of it.
Well played from them.
Power of Evil showed bottom lane. Fnatic instantly put some damage onto the Baron, but they peel away. They're not fully committing.
As long as they stay around it, Unicorns is forced to do the same. Now it's been started. This is what we've been talking about. Nobody's moving yet. Yellowstar is trying to zone away in the bush just behind the red buff.
It's gone.
This Baron
it's too late.
Is going down so fast. There you go.
Well played by Fnatic. Hylissang, stand behind me, jumps onto Vizichachi, forced to flash over to the Krux camp. Now Rainova and Yellowstar looking for more. The Command Protect goes under the tree, but it's not going to be enough. Kikis, Power of Evil, and Vardax join the rest of the Unicorns. But they now have to face a Baron-empowered Fnatic squad.
Power of Evil did pull the Shockwave, but he wasn't even close to the Baron for himself this time. Time is running out for the Unicorns of Love.
Time has run out, Deficio.
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Fnatic can just continue to strangle the life out of the Challenger squad. The number 5 seed coming into the playoffs, memory serves. I believe Gambit was above them. They made it to the finals for the first time ever. First time upsetting the number 1 seed of SK. And that was also a miracle Baron steal. Fnatic are doing to Unicorns what Unicorns did to them in Game 4. It is just
the whole
flawless execution.
The whole playoffs. This was a team that went 9-9 in the split. And every week was the same talking point. They are so inconsistent. One day they win in 25 minutes. The next day they lose to MYM, who ended up being relegated. It was so hard to say, what is the playstyle of Unicorns of Love? How good are they? So they faced Gambit in the first one, 3-0, after losing the first game. Beat SK Gaming in the final. Everyone loves them. The name, everything. So despite them being behind now and looking very, very bad in this game, it's still been one hell of a season for Unicorns of Love.
That is for sure. We'll see whether or not they can find any magic left in the tank. How deep does their trough go? Fnatic take their 6th tower of the game, the last inner turret. There are only inhibitor turrets remaining. Kikis has set up from behind.
Whoa!
He manages to catch
Whoa!
No way! They do get Featherfin before he can get anyone down. The Power of Evil loses his life. It's mid laner for mid laner. What can Vardax do? He's forced away from the team fight, and Steelback is just too far ahead. He chops down the tree of Vizichachi, and Fnatic take the inhibitor turret. They will get the inhibitor as well. Unicorns had a little bit of magic, but it was not enough. And Fnatic crack open the Unicorns base.
Yeah, but that was like the best kind of engage for the Unicorns, and it wasn't enough. I can't wait to see that again. Kikis sneaking in behind. 3-man ulti. Featherfin, Steelback, Yellowstar. Everything pulled onto them. And yet, Fnatic can still turn it around and win the fight.
Baron plus 10k to Deficio. That's what it looks like when you fight 4v5. Unicorns of Love, they're not done yet. Vizichachi's running in. He's not going to find anybody, though.
Trying to get a tower.
This is the first of the game. 35 minutes on the clock. There are some minions pouring behind, but Fnatic, they're not giving this one up. Kikis, look at the damage from the Boomerang Blade. Sealback's got that Bloodthirster completed along with the last Whisper on the Hunt throne. They want to defend the tower, but the minions will secure it. Hylissang in full retreat. Vizichachi goes forward. Featherfin this time round. That is a 4-man prison, but there's no
Look at the Rumble.
Here comes Rumble. Equalizer is available. He throws it down on Vardax and Kikis. Vizichachi is down. Vardax is down. Hylissang is down, and the Unicorns
Shockwave.
Shockwave catches, but it's not going to be enough. Vizichachi Well, the Kikis will be the next to fall, and Power of Evil is the last man standing. Super Minions are inside the base of the Unicorns of Love, and Fnatic, they're pushing forward. They have 30 seconds on the clock, and they might be closing it out now.
And what a great game from Fnatic here, playing it so well from the early game, and the way they adapted in the pick and ban phase. First pick Sivir, meaning it's so hard to play scaling comps because you force these fights. Another kill.
Power of Evil is down. There are no Unicorns left. There is no magic to believe in. Fnatic are the 4-time champions of the European LCS. They're pushing on the next.
Wait for it.
It's happening again. It's happening again. Let's get back in it.
Too early.
Oh, just did it again. They've defended the Nexus, or maybe not. Vodax is turning his attention to Rainova. We've never played the victory music and had to turn it off until the Unicorns made it to the final. Rainova is looking for Vodax. Challenging Smite was there, and we are back.
All right, let's see what the Unicorns can do. Everyone thought it was over.
This is unprecedented.
They're still 10k gold behind, but every kill matters for them. Vodax, 6 kills on the Lucian, will get a mid tower as well. They need that inhibitor to respawn. Baron is up in 140. That's going to be the next big one. Fnatic can set up once again. They might be able to get 2 towers for the Unicorns of Love. That's a lot of gold suddenly picked up. Fibberman is here with ulti. They have to respect him.
Continues to look for more. There's the equalizer. Vizichachi will go down. 4 members of Unicorns now need to defend. We should secure a dragon here. Spirit Rush was used. Baron is up in 1 minute and 20.
And now it's back to defend your Nexus. 4v5, 30 seconds more.
When this happened in week 8, Unicorns defended it multiple times. We're now doing it in week 12, in the final, in game 5.
Okay, Fnatic, go into the top side jungle, place your wards once again, set up for that Baron, and force Unicorns to come and face check you. You will get almost a guaranteed kill from the Ahri Charm. She's so fed still. Steel bag as well on the Sivir. You have so much damage. Fibberman is going to push back the bottom lane. That opens up for Unicorns to set up around the Baron and suddenly avoid this pick here. Pick potential at least.
Every single person on the floor is on their feet. The Cinderella story. The Cinderella that turned her glass shoe into a weapon and threw it at anybody hitting a Nexus. Fnatic should still win. Fnatic should close this out. But they hadn't done it twice before. The only team that beat Fnatic 2-0 in the regular split was Unicorns of Love. And is that seed of doubt inside Fnatic's mind?
Look at the wards Kikis just placed. This pink ward inside the Baron pit will not spot the one just outside here. So they will see Fnatic if they start, and Fnatic has to place a pink outside or use the sweeper to clear these 2 wards. So at least they can see if Fnatic is stunning it or if they're waiting in the jungle to pick off the Unicorns of Love.
Don't take the bait and chase Yellow Star this time. The rest of Unicorns a little split up. Power and Kikis moving through the red buff area of their jungle. Hylissang lands the Winter's Bite. Nobody to follow. Kikis is caught out. He's trying to look for a team fight. Descendants connects onto Hylissang, though. That's not who they want. Where's the Glacial Prison? That's what we're looking for. Fish is available as well. Equalizer knocks everyone backward. Shockwave doesn't manage to get, but look at the prison. Where is Vodax? He's down. Fnatic are on the game-winning team fight. They managed to get 4. They looked at Vizichachi. It is an ace. Fnatic will now push under the Nexus. The death timers are too high, and the magic from Unicorns has finally run out.
Such a good team fight again from Fnatic here. They just piled on the Power of Evil. He didn't even get to ulti 40 minutes in on an Orianna.
Fnatic have an uncontested Nexus, and they will finally win the spring split.